joined by Stéphanie Crapoulet. Currently, Stéphanie is the HRPP Regional Manager. Before joining Horizon in May of 2023, she was one of the leads of the CHU Dumont biobank for Vitalité Health Network for a period of 7 years. Stéphanie has more than 20 years of experience in research, and her major responsibilities included being in the ORS team, which included work such as SOP development, HRA accreditation, regulatory compliance and review, and Romeo management. Today, Stéphanie will be speaking with us about Romeo and the new set of SOPs for HRPP. Thank you for joining us today, Stéphanie, and floor is yours. Please take it away.
Thank you, Sri Jane. So I'm going to share my screen, and immediately everybody falls asleep. So welcome to the wonderful world of the SOPs. So this presentation is SOP 1.0, which we will talk about the why, the what, the how. So mainly SOPs is the art of writing what you're doing and doing what you wrote. But there's few information that you need to know. It might be something that you are already aware of, but I will give you some information on what are the governing documents. So you have policy, standard, procedure, and workflows, or work instructions, or job aids, which are all the same. So policies identify the issue and scope on why do I need to do this. The standards aligns quantifiable measures on what is required. Procedure will establish proper steps to take on how do I do this, and workflows is mainly how do I do this in great details. So policies are the why. They're the rules and regulation established by the institution leadership team. They outline the goals, values, and acceptable behaviors within the organization. So it ensures consistency and compliance throughout the institutions. The policies answer the question related to the what, who, why, or when behind the institution operations. And as an example, you have code of conducts, health and safety policies. Policies are broad and general in nature and infrequently changed. We have 12 policies that are related to our research activity. They're all there, and you should be aware of them, at least read them, know what they're talking about. And this is an example. RS 005 is about financial management of research account, and what it says is each research study will have its own research account, and general research accounts are established to allow residual research found from closed research accounts. And this word that I will not tell you, but you can read it, and they can be used for research related expenditure. So it's informations about mainly how the institution deals with the financial management of research accounts. The standards are frame guide that promotes best institutional and safety practices. So it ensures interoperability in such practices throughout the whole institutions. So it tells us what is required in order to meet current policies and other normative references. There are clear, concise requirements upon which we can develop our own and unique procedure. They are the product of national consensus regarding the level of quality and specific requirement that we need to comply. So we have the HRO standards 1, 2, and 3. The third one is the one I've been working, sweating a lot this last month to get our institution fitting to the standards. So the characteristics of the standards, they're dynamic, maintained and updated regularly to complement rapidly developing changes to research practices. They are comprehensive. It's all research activities about human research, and they are testable, translatable into procedure and expressed in terms of performance. So HRSO is the Human Research Standard Organization. It's a non-profit organization that develops the standards. And as I said before, we comply with all three, and the last one had all these items to comply with, and was mainly about research enterprise, development of a human research protocol, and the data governance. So what we did, is taking our SOPs, checking with what HRSO, what we needed to comply with HRSO to make sure we were complying with the standards, and we worked toward to get our SOPs better. So the SOPs now. The SOPs are the how. So these are procedures that are step-by-step instructions, that describes how specific task or activity should be performed within the organization. So what we need is a standardized way of doing stuff. Why do we need that? Because when we have standardized way of doing stuff, it's better for us to go back, as you know, as in research. It's really important to have done all the stuff correctly every time for that, let's say the same different participant, but the same way of doing. So the SOPs clearly guide the employees on the requirement sequence and actions to complete the task. It helps us to have high quality, compliance, and operational efficiency. So SOPs answer the, I think there's an issue. So it's not policies, it's SOPs, and they answer the how behind what we're doing. So we have SOPs, for example, on informed consent procedure, quality control, complaint resolution, all a number of high number of SOPs we have. So what they have, these SOPs, they're consistent, same format. They're clear and easy to understand. They're focused on specific task or activity. What you have to remember is you have to renew your knowledge on these every 3 years. This one changed a little bit. Before it was 2 years, and then we changed to 3 years. And we have right now 56 SOPs that are accredited by HRA Canada and are based on the standard developed by HRSO. So what are our HRPP SOPs? These are your toolbox. These are yours. We have been working on them, but you can absolutely use them. They're meant to be used, meant to be uploaded, printed, kept in each site, and for you to be able to refer to them. These SOPs, they have been, as I said, accredited by HRA Canada. What is HRA Canada? It's an independent non-profit body that accredits human research, and it accredits HRPP. So during the last few months, I've been working a lot on modifying the SOPs to comply with the third standard, and I've been working on 36 SOPs, modified 25, and had 8 new SOPs. So you have the list here, just for your information, and it continues, and it continues. So the last part are the new SOPs, and it's mainly on data governance. What is data governance? Is how you're going to keep your data. What would be your data management plan if you develop a project. How is set up your database? How do you log and archive your information? How do you do the file transfer and all that kind of stuff related to the data? This part is really important because that way, as an institution, you are the warrant of the keeping of the information, like safekeeping of information. So it was needed to have this implemented. And in the next few months, moving forward, I'll be working with you all just to implement and educate you more when you need it about this. So
Stephanie, while
yes.
you're talking about that toolbox in the list, there's a question asking where can we find that list and the toolbox thing that you just showed us? Is it in
Yes.
the Skyline?
Yeah, so it's on the HRPP Skyline webpage, but right now, I because the accreditation was just obtained like a few days ago, I didn't have time to upload everything yet. So it's the same what Brain developed. I'm going to try to share. Just a sec, I'm going to show you where it is. So yes, I have lots of tabs open. And believe me, that's not the only one that can have. So you go to the Skyline, you go to HRPP SOP manual, which is the toolbox, but what is defined as SOP manual. You have all these SOPs here. You click and then you have them. So right now they are not updated. I'm going to upload everything. Once I'm done with uploading everything, I will send an email to everyone so you will be able to know, okay, that's now that I can read and get my training done. And also what I would invite you to do is have a critical eye on the SOPs. By critical, I mean if there's something that you're doing that is not covered by the current SOPs, please let me know because I will work toward to get that covered. If it make, I don't want to say if it makes sense, but it's kind of that. If it's small details, but I'm going to explain to you after that, SOPs are meant to be broad enough for everyone to be able to use them. Like the informed consent should be done pretty much every time the same way with like how you respect the patient, how you get the information and that kind of stuff, how you do the copy and then you give to the patient, that kind of stuff. But your on-site activity, let's say the MD calls the nurse calls the research coordinator, and then the research, this is something else. This is workflow. So if you see that you have sponsors that are coming to you and you show them the SOPs and they tell you, no, you're missing something, just come back to me. We can discuss about that and we can get what's needed. Okay, perfect. So yes, that's on the screen you have the data management SOP. So as I said, it explains mainly, and that SOP 46 really explained the whole data management stuff that you need to know about what's required. And then you have more detailed on more specific activities. But I wanted to show it to you. It's mainly things you have to read. So I'm sorry, there's a lot to read, but at the end, it's really useful and really helpful. So what are the SOPs? And what do we do with SOPs? SOPs is not something that is set in stone. As I said, if you we have to change them to follow the standards. We have to change them to make sure the language is good, the scope is broad enough for everyone and in the same time really specific to what needs to be treated. We have a regular review on these, the validation process, and we are going to ensure that feedback is heard. So the need, like, we really need to define the scope and the purpose, define who is it for and does it work, like for the end user. We have, I have created an SOP on SOP, which defines how we write the SOPs, because to keep consistency. So right now, let's say we're done with that, and we are, it's kind of a circle. So we're in that part. They are accredited. We need to implement them. When you're gonna read them, if you see there are some discrepancies in what you experience, what you do, what you see, let me know. When you're going to read the SOPs, because as I said before, you need to be reviewing the SOP and need to show your training on SOPs should be updated every 3 years. So you will need in Skyline the same page as I showed you. You will have that 3 pages that you will need to fill. Sorry. Put your date of revision, initials, sign it, and then send it to me. That way we will keep the training record. What we're working toward is getting a better system to be able to track the training. Right now it's not implemented yet and it's still on the works, but we will be functioning with this document for now, and hopefully we can get a kind of a platform database, something that makes it better. I will keep you posted on that. So we had policies, standards, SOPs. And what you need to remember, not all of you need to create SOP. Actually, you should not need to create SOP. You should work with me toward getting the SOP for the broad institution, like when you see that something is missing. But for you as team, as researchers on the field, you need more either workflows or work instructions, sorry. So work instructions are set of step-by-step instructions that describe in great detail how you do your specific task. Let's say I'm consenting a patient for, I don't know, a specific study, and the MD is gonna talk to the patient, see the nurse. The nurse will contact me. I will go there and I will have a specific file to share, specific document. You write everything. This is really to enhance effectiveness in the work and in training and knowledge retention, which is really important, because if you leave for some reason, somebody else is able to take the job and do it. All this for being able to give better care for the patients. So work instruction facilitate and improve learner engagement and facilitate organization with overarching structure. They are a guide for staff for their daily activities. So you would have an on-site informed consent form procedure on on-site use of system for data collection. Don't know. Let's say you use a specific tool for your collection of data, or you treat your information the way you're doing it, the path to get from the information you collected to the analysis. You should write that down. What they have, work instruction, although I'm not able to say it correctly, but you can read it. They're clear and easy to understand, accessible and more visual. Workflows are actually the best, I think. They're focused on specific tasks that you do every day, and that you want to have somebody that doesn't know what you're doing read them and be able to do the same task. And they don't need to be certified. So that's an example of what you have as workflows or work instruction. So it presents the same way pretty much as an SOP, but as I said, doesn't need to be revised as much and doesn't need to be certified. And it's really meant to be able to transfer, like to get the same way of doing, like everybody would be able to go there, like on your work activity, take your document and be able to do the activity. So this is very nice. I say that, you might not say that, and that's fine. This is nice, very nice set of information. But what do you do with that? So you read and you do. If you have issues with the doing or something is not working for you, let me know. So policies and SOPs, you get your training, file the related document to keep you to keep us informed about your training. You upload the SOPs, you print them, it's your toolbox. And as I said, you give me feedback if you see that something could be missing. So the idea is really to increase the toolbox, to be able to get the best tools for everyone. And the work instruction, you create your own document, you keep it in mind that will allow standardized work and really help the new staff. So I'm pretty much done by now for the SOP, so you can week. My role is consultation and review of your documents. Any questions? Something, it's not clear, I don't get that, I need some explanation, feel free to contact me. In the future, if I see there's a need, we will do workshops on the how to write a working document, or how to improve also stuff. We will do training sessions and follow up with your feedbacks. When I say we, I mean I. The next steps for us. So we received the accreditation on March 20th. And I was waiting for that to implement all the SOPs in Skyline. So I'm going to do that. And when I'm done, I will inform you all, and I will need you to get your training file. My mail is the one that you see right below. You can just find me on Outlook. I'm done with the SOPs. Now with the Romeo updates. As you've heard at the beginning, I'm dealing a lot with Romeo management, and I wanted to do some updates on what we have with Romeo. So you have received an email from Katie mentioning that we are separating sub-study from parent studies. This is because we had very hard time to track in Romeo the research activities, and we really need to have the right landscape. Because if we are not able to track them, they just disappear in the system. It doesn't show how much we work and how powerful the work you're doing on an everyday basis doesn't show up, which is kind of sad. So for that, following the memo, be ensured that we will support the transition. So when you have to submit sub-study. Just mention, don't forget to mention in the new study application what is the parent study, so we will be able to link everything in between and no information will be lost. Also, I wanted to show you, because that's my fun, I love metrics and I love Romeo metrics. No, I don't love Romeo metrics. I love metrics, remove Romeo, but still Romeo is a tool. And because we want it to be as powerful as it should be, I want you to show you why we need to have everything well informed in the system, because Romeo is only as good as what we put in Romeo. So I wanted to show you the new studies in 2023. 117, probably more, we don't know. But what Romeo gave me, it's 117, which is here. 32 new industry-sponsored trials, 65 investigator-initiated studies, and these are the students one. The median turnaround time for the studies were 6 days by us, DRS. REB was 15 days, and the total one is 28 days. And that's nice. You can see it fluctuate with the time, not always the same, but sometimes yes, because you have more students around here that submit, and it depends on how it's activated. And that's for 2024, so only 2 months. I'm giving the numbers the first day of the next month. So I've done January and February. I see that I don't have the numbers, but anyway, it's 11 new studies for January and 4 new studies for February. Also, last, and I think it's not a big deal, but I still wanted to let you know. SNB as portal. The only thing that changed for the end user, which is you, is before when you were connecting, you had that nice picture and then you have this one. So other than that, nothing changed. But I wanted to let you know in case you were questioning what's happening. It's not a big deal. It's just visual change. Well, actually it might be more than a visual, but we don't know more than the visual. Nothing will change for you on how you use the portal and how everything works for the REB. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie, for that really informative presentation on SOPs. I think there's a lot of applicability for everyone in terms of the work we do here regarding that. I mean, it's pretty essential. Looks like we have a question from Natalia.
Hi, Stephanie. Thank you so much for the presentation. Hi. Very helpful and very detailed. You mentioned that you created an SOP on how to write an SOP. Would you be willing to share that?
Yes, sure.
Because I feel like with us creating SOPs as research groups, we would love to align them with the standards that are kept at Horizon. So if I will email you separately if that's okay.
Yes, and we can talk about what you are developing and what you are aiming to. Yes, sure.
Sounds good. Thank
you.
No
problem. You're welcome.
So sorry. Stephanie, wasn't it that so the key message I hear is that you're telling everyone in research community in Horizon that we should not be creating unit specific or department specific SOPs because we have HRPP SOPs, the whole set that is accredited and reviewed by HRA Canada.
Yes.
So instead of each unit creating or updating your individual SOP sets, we are encouraging everybody to adopt HRPP SOP, but if there's any study-specific or unit-specific procedures that need to be, that's missing from our HRPP SOP, you have an option of maybe first you can reach out to Stephanie to see if there's any way that the current SOP can be modified or updated in that sense to reflect your practice. Or the other option would be that you would have to create what's called a working document, working procedure document that supplements what's already existing through the HRPP SOP set. And Stephanie has the template for the working procedure document, which you can adopt the template format and you can write as much detail as possible. And that set of working document does not require any specific approval or accreditation by any regulatory body or any agency, which means it's a working document as the word suggests. So you can revise and change things as it happens, as needed within your unit.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I said to, sorry, it's Natalia, I think. I'm sorry, I don't see anything. I'm just blind. Yes, that's exactly what it is, Stella. And that's why I said, just contact me and we will see what are your needs and we will work toward getting your needs met and how they should be met. Because that's exactly what it is. As HRPP, we create this toolbox. That is, the idea is for you to use it as it is because they have met all the necessary requirements. And if you have specific stuff that you see that are not met and should be at the institutional level, we can work toward that together. And if not, well, if it's something that is specific to your own activity, it's better to have working documents.
Yeah, I think the really big part about all this, this certainly is a change of practice that from what we've been doing, how we've been operating as a research community, at least within Horizon. But I think the whole aim of this change is that we want to lift some burden off of you guys from revising and updating SOPs. So Stephanie and Jacqueline will do the most of the heavy lifting of the creating SOPs and developing one as needed basis and getting them approved and accredited. All you guys need to do is just don't worry about that basic set of SOP that's required by sponsor or any agency, but just to keep on creating what's needed right at that moment and create that as a working document.
Exactly.
That will serve you to help you more of a day-to-day operation. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And this will be beneficial. Yeah. Sorry.
No, thank you. That makes sense.
Yes, and contact me when whoever wants to contact me, feel free to contact me. I would be very happy to help you.
And I think Sahira has a question.
Yeah, it's Syra. It's from Moncton Oncology Clinical Trials. So we've had our own SOPs for the past few years, and we've been in the process and have already put in a lot of work in trying to update them and do things because, as you know, there are processes that are with HRPP that aren't within our oncology clinical trials. So I'm wondering because I know there's like colleagues of mine have been working significantly and they've probably spent quite a few hours doing that. So
yeah. No, for that I will be in contact with your team. So we will find the best way to integrate it and all work together. So yeah, this is a good question, and it's for the people that have existing tools, it's a little bit different, but we are going to work to get more efficiency and applicability for everyone. But for the oncology clinic in Moncton, it's I will be in contact with Ian soon to discuss about that with Jacqueline.
Okay.
And a question in the chat here. Oh, sorry, Sahira, did you want to say something else?
No, I just said okay based on the answer. That's all. Thanks.
Okay. A question in the chat from Rosemary is maybe you can, and Stella answered it, but maybe you can expound on it more, Stephanie, about if we are not using the N2 SOPs anymore.
No, we used the N2 SOPs are not HRA. It's not enough. Just to resume the information, they don't have enough. The SOPs, how we have developed them, we have had a lot of more information related to what's in the just going back here, the HRSO standards. HRSO standards like N2 doesn't cover all of what's required there. So our SOPs are have more information, are more detailed. But you might feel in base of what you know, each of you in each site, what you see and what you have, I will invite you to contact me just for us just to see what are the SOPs you see that are missing in what you have, or if you compare N2s and our HRPP SOPs. So my question would be why we have that set of HRPP SOPs. Is there something missing from your side? So let me know how we have developed them. It's more structure and have more information than the N2 ones.
May I just add what Stephanie said about N2 SOP, just to clarify. So the N2 SOP is enough in a sense that it meets the requirement of Health Canada, and it meets requirement for the operation of a clinical trials for the regulated setting. So regulated clinical trials, those who get the inspection and monitoring visit by regulatory bodies and sponsors, that they are enough. However, for the purpose of, as when you look at the whole organization level, as a regional health authority who conducts all kinds of research activities, we're talking observational, non-regulated, all these different type of research activities. Our SOP set has to be more inclusive to cover all the possible research activities that's happening within our organization, and also meets the requirement of HRSO standards. So combining that too, so from that perspective, N2 SOP is not enough. I hope that's clear to everybody. So those of you who's already using N2 SOP, doesn't mean that you've done something wrong or your SOP is not sufficient. But what we're doing, we're sort of, like I said, it's a change of practice that we're telling everybody from now on, anybody who's conducting research in Horizon community should be adopting HRPP SOP, and then plus working document to supplement what's needed for your practice. I hope that's clear. Yeah.
That's exactly that. And if, as I said already, if you read the SOPs that we have and you see that something is missing with your activity, just let me know. We don't want you to be don't have any resources accessible to you. We want to make it, as Stella said, relieve the burden from your shoulder, and get something that is more broad for the institution. Like each site has their own way of doing stuff, but everyone should be following the same way, like what are the protection for your patient data, let's say, that kind of stuff, or how you do the consenting, again, the consenting part on how you write protocol for whoever needs to write protocol. There's that kind of stuff. Yes, so we don't want you to be scared or afraid. Everything is in the work and is meant to help you, not to stress you or not to scare you.
All right.
One last thing, sorry, I don't want to. Yeah. So, so I know that before Stephanie joined Horizon, I think I was kind of the main person who you guys reached out to when it comes to SOPs, any questions related to that. So I think moving forward, I think the plan is that Stephanie is going to be that SOP person for all SOP related inquiries. So just to letting everybody know that, just to reach out to her for that. So one less work for me. So just letting everybody know. Yeah.
And I'm nice. Although I don't see you, I'm nice.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. I'll give that to you. She's nicer. Yes.
I didn't say that.
Well, I think that's what you meant. That's fine.
No, not at all.
She is nice, as you know. So yeah.
I worked with Stephanie before. I agree, Stella. Maybe she's nicer. I'm just teasing you, Stella.
Poor Stella.
Just teasing.
All right. Well, thank you very much again, Stephanie, for this great presentation today. And seeing as how we finished early, no reason to keep everyone on for longer than necessary. So thank you again. And yeah, we'll see you guys for the next presentation. And I'll send the survey to everyone very soon, right after the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
much. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.
Great day.
Bye.
Bye.